and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living here in beautiful San Clemente. We're so glad you're here with us on this wonderful Father's Day. Thank you to all the daddies for being here with us today. And we'd like you to join us on our very first sing-along song, a Karen Drucker tune called What Is Mine to Give? Mine. 2, 3. Here we go.
What is mine to give? What is mine to do? All I want is to share myself with you. So I stand here asking, what can I do? What is mine to give? I give it to you. What is mine to give? What is mine to do? All I want is to share myself with you. So I stand here asking, what can I do? What is mine to give? I give it to you. What is mine to give? What is mine to do? All I want is to share myself with you. So I stand here asking, what can I do? What is mine to give? I give it to you. What is mine to give? I give it to you.
All right, and I'd like to introduce our musicians to you this morning. We have our wonderful band, in-house band, Ed Cusby on guitar, Bill Dixon, soon to be married, on bass, David Page on drums. Our song leaders this morning are Kimberly and Wade Wooldridge. I'm Diane King Band over here at the keys, and our soloist this morning, traveling all the way from Paris, France, is Senia. So glad to have her with us. And now it's your turn to stand on up, stretch those legs, and sing another tune with us. A great Bruno Mars tune called Just the Way You Are.
When I see your face, there's not a thing that I would change, 'cause you're amazing, just the way you are. And when you smile, the whole world stops and stares for a while, 'cause you're amazing, just the way you are. When I see your face, there's not a thing that I would change, 'cause you're amazing, just the way you are. And when you smile, the whole world stops and stares for a while, 'cause you're amazing, just the way you are.
And time to go meet and greet your neighbors. Sing again, so come on back, ready to go. Here we are. When I see your face, when I see your face, there's not a thing that I would change, 'cause you're amazing, just the way you are.
And when you smile, the whole world stops and stares for a while, 'cause you're amazing, just the way you are. The way you are, the way you are. You're amazing, just the way you are. The way you are, the way you are. You're amazing, just the way you are. When I see your face, there's not a thing that I would change, 'cause you're amazing, just the way you are. And when you smile, The whole world stops and stares for a while, 'cause you're amazing just the way you are. You're amazing just the way you are.
Wade and Kimberly are pretty amazing, don't you think? As are their entourage, the Wadettes. Good morning. I'm Bruce Fredenberg. I'm one of the staff ministers here. My ministry is mental health and the science of mind. And whoever you are, wherever you are on your spiritual path, you're welcome here today. It's nice to see so many people showing up on such a beautiful morning. If you've been here before, you already know this, but if you haven't, we are a transcendental church, a center for spiritual living in which we teach spiritual principles that when you learn to apply them and live them, will absolutely change your life. That means things that are going well will go better if you want. Things that aren't going as well as you want will go well. Everything can improve. I've been helping families solve problems for more than 30 years, and I have not discovered anything more powerful or even as powerful as just embodying these spiritual principles. And if you do it with persistent optimism, after a while, the adjustments just become automatic, just like when you were learning to walk. So we are all about improving lives. So let's get started. We're going to start with our candle lighting ceremony, lighting the flames of faith. A call to service. We perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all sentient beings, come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And as practitioner Patrick Freeman lights the last candle, let it represent the path that brought you here this morning. And I invite you to join me in an affirmative prayer. So as I go inward, it's easier to refresh my mind and focus on the truth being simply this, that behind it all, there is only one life, one infinite power that is present everywhere in its multitude of forms. It is present right here, now, this moment, through and as everyone. And its nature is infinite love, its infinite capacity for beauty, for appreciation, for ever-increasing joy. It is unopposed and unopposable, so it is perfect peace, undisturbable peace. And it is infinite, inexhaustible power and creativity. And it is expressing itself right here, right now, through and as everyone. Each person is a divine idea in spirit extended here into this realm of time and space, also created by this one, for the purpose of doing what life does, for expressing more of itself, in this case, more of everything that I call good. So I claim right here, right now, knowing that I am blessed to be a self-conscious expression of this infinite power, this infinite creativity and love. I claim for each person that each of us is finding and accepting exactly what we came here for today, that each of us is hearing and understanding these principles in a way that removes whatever barriers have ever stood in the way of our accepting our life of our dreams. And I claim that any healing that needs to happen in anybody, anywhere, for this good to be accepted unconditionally, this healing is happening right here and right now. And so I know that I am directing an infinite power, and that everything has already arranged itself, locked into place, including that which is yet to be created, for this good to be manifested and received. So I do my part with absolutely no reservations. I give thanks and I release it into these laws with a delight and a calm expectancy, knowing this good is already here. So as I release it, I simply let it be, and together we say, and so it is. And now Dr. Jeannie Hounshell with our affirmation.
Affirmations are one of those spiritual tools that Bruce talked about. And if an affirmation speaks to your heart, if you will keep it and read it or say it until it becomes your truth, then your life absolutely changes. So I'll read it, then it will come up and we'll read it together. One spirit, one love, one life. It is father and mother to us all. I live in that spirit. I am that love. I am that life. I listen to guidance from the inner perfection that dwells within. And now together. One spirit, one love, one life. It is father and mother to us all. I live in that spirit. I am that love. I am that life. I listen to guidance from the inner perfection that dwells within. And so it is.
Thank you, Jeannie. And now please welcome Sinya.
Okay.
I don't want to fight another war. Every battle that's been fought has been lost before. Every time a side is forced to drop its sword, the next war is born. I don't want to fight
fight another day. When the light comes, it's time to be away. I've wasted enough of mine being afraid. But I can't change. I'm not fighting anymore. This ain't what I came here for. Surrender. That ain't the same as giving up. I remember that I came here. I don't want to fight with you. I can see in your eyes that you are dying too. Our differences aren't divisions as much as they prove just how much we can't afford to lose. Don't you want something more? You got so much to live for. Surrender. That ain't the same as giving up. Surrender. Remember that we came here to learn. Remember that we came here to learn.
Senior. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. And I'd like to welcome our very own Reverend Heather Dawn Clark with a very special treat today. This is Heather's 18th anniversary of
Yes.
being with our center.
It is.
And in celebration of that, we have some flowers that we'd like to honor her with. I think someone, whoever had that cue, they weren't sure who was going to be the person delivering them. But Reverend
thank
Heather,
you.
we are so blessed to have had you with us for so long. I've been a small portion of that, but
You've
I
been
know
a
you
big
have done
portion
a
for me.
tremendous amount of work for our center, and we love you. And here come the flowers.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh, they're beautiful. Ah, gorgeous. Okay, now do I have to do my whole talk holding them?
You can put them on the piano if you want.
Yes,
Heather.
I would.
Just lay them right
They're
there.
gorgeous.
and then
Thank you
everyone
so
can see
much.
them. You can put them there if you want.
Really appreciate it. My LinkedIn friends all know that this is my 18th because I've been getting all of these congratulations all week long. But it's Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to all the fathers, uncles, brothers, dads, anyone that has been helping in raising children. What an important job it is. And I want to start off by honoring my dad, Gordon Clark, who made his transition 2 months after I came to the United States in 1993. But I found when I was home last year, my mom passed, as many of you know. And so in cleaning up all of the things, going through all of the special things that she had been saving, was a Father's Day card that I'd sent to my dad in 1990. I would like to read it to you. First of all, the card itself says, "A Father's Day blessing. The Lord bless thee and keep thee. The Lord make his countenance to shine upon thee and give thee peace," which was the benediction that our minister in the Protestant church I grew up with ended every service with. So it's very familiar to me. And then inside it says, "Praying God will give your day a warm and loving touch and grant you all the happy things that you deserve so much. Happy Father's Day, lots of love, Heather." And then the note that I sent. Now, over the years, Reverend Bruce has told me this, but I didn't believe it till I found this note. We embellish our memories. We add to them. We make more out of them. So I've been thinking that this was a really long letter. It's 3 tiny pages that I wrote in 1990. My dad was already showing signs. He already clearly had some form of dementia. And it was so interesting. It hadn't yet been diagnosed as Alzheimer's, but he had been a brilliant, brilliant man and a great teacher. And I was blessed to have him as my teacher for both all of the maths and literature and composition, and in grades 11 and 12. Fantastic teacher. But by this time, you could see, and those of you who are dealing with anyone with dementia of any kind, you see how their mind works sometimes, where there might be a lot of forgetting, but also where it was like John Mayer's song, "All of the Walls Are Constantly Changing," because it's like they're taking a maze to try to get to a word or to describe something, and then there's a block, a roadblock. And that's how it was for my dad by this time. So June 10th, 1990, "Dear Dad, as Father's Day approaches, I've been thinking about you and feeling grateful for having you as my father. This winter, when I better back up a little bit. One of our mutual friends, my sister and I had a friend that was 2 years older than me and 3 years younger than Kathy. Of course, she liked to hang out with Kathy because that was the older one. That's natural. And her name was Betty Lynn, very funny woman. And of course, she had gone to school with my dad. And most of the kids in the small town that we were raised in had so much respect and love for my dad. It was really overwhelming. So this is what I say. This winter, when I presented a peace meditation to Betty Lynn's, this is where you get acronyms mean nothing in a foreign country. So the acronym is CGIT. It means Canadian Girls in Training Under the Leadership of Jesus. They just left out under the leadership of Jesus, CGIT. Betty Lynn's CGIT group girls, she remarked that I taught like you. I took it as the compliment that it was meant to be, a very great compliment. You were one of my very best teachers. Think of the influence you have had over the years, not just with the students you taught directly, but all of your students who are now teaching new generations of young people. I treasured your bright mind and mathematical abilities, and even more importantly, was your love of literature. I didn't say importantly, even more important was your love of literature and empathy for the human condition. All these things have influenced my teaching and my values. I'm grateful also for your support and generosity that you've shown me year after year. Dad, I know that I haven't spent the kind of time with you I would have liked to have spent. I know that I am impatient about this aging process that we all are going through. In many ways, I want to stop time and have you remain forever as you were when I was 17. I also know that that would have robbed us all of some very valuable experiences. Help me to be so accepting of you as you have been with me. I love you, honor you, and respect you. Love, Heather. May this Father's Day bring peace and contentment to your heart. So Father's Day, I called to wish him a happy Father's Day. And my mom said, your dad wants to talk to you. So it was a very long conversation. It was probably 20 minutes because of the maze, because he kept trying to say something and then he'd stop and he'd go back and say it another way until he got the word or got the meaning of the word. But I value those 15 minutes. It's very precious to me that I took the time to do so. So those of you who are still blessed to have that significant parent or parents still with you, take a moment. And if write it down, give them a good gift that they can cherish. Because no matter what kind of parent your father, uncle, brother was, each one of them are doing the very best they could at the time. If they could have done any differently, they would have done so. And there are so many gifts that we can be thankful for today, this Father's Day. So happy Father's Day. The children are going to give gifts to all of the men, whether you're biological or stepfather, it doesn't matter. But during the offertory, they're going to do that. I know it says in your program that my talk title is Fix It. And that actually works for fathers because oftentimes that's what they did. But I want to talk about the father within, because that's so important that we realize that each one of us has direct access to the universal presence, to the one life, to the Father, Mother, God, and particularly the Father aspect of that God. And have you ever thought of this, that fatherhood is about relating, it's relational. So whoever that is for you, what is the relationship? And if you think about relationships, you have relationships with everybody. You have relationships with all of the people you know, whether they're friendships or intimate relationships, but you also have relationships with your stuff, with your car, with your home, with other things. You have relationship. It's how you relate to those things, what is. So very important, because that's part of the human condition, that we get to relate, we get to connect, we get to be together. And so this past weekend, I participated in a slumber party, which we kind of have an annual, some women have an annual tradition of doing this, but sometimes it goes many years before the annual, it happens again. And one of our friends was in Italy, and we thought, well, why don't we actually, Darylyn thought, why don't we just text her and tell her that we miss her? And so we took pictures and texted her, tell her we missed her. And she texted back, it was 7 a.m. And you could tell that it was such a great gift to include her in our get together, even though she wasn't physically present and hasn't been physically present for a while. And, when life changes that way, we can do that, right? We can still, if the relationship is important, we can still be in relationship no matter where we are. And that's the really good thing. And if your significant parent or parents have made their transition, as mine have, it doesn't mean you're not in relationship. You can still be in relationship with that one. In fact, some of the things I read last night in preparing for this is sometimes those relationships grow and change and get better over the years because we bring more understanding. We bring more awareness of who we are and therefore who that parent was for us. Okay, I've got some. Ernest had lots to say about the Father within. And one of the things to point out that when Jesus was teaching, he used the word Abba for Father. And Abba is Aramaic and not Greek, but Aramaic, and it means sort of the personal, not just this is the father that implanted the sperm that fertilized the egg. It isn't just that, this is the relational. This is the tender. You could think of dad or daddy when he was saying Abba. So it's 3 times in the New Testament, and I really couldn't have quoted the chapter and verse without looking at my notes. So unless you're all going to look up in your Bibles, talk to me afterwards, and I'll give you the verses and lines. So one of the things that I want you all to know is that fathers today, it applies to mothers as well, and anyone involved in the ongoing care of children, or indeed revealing the new expression in life to themselves and others. So all of those people, yeah, how many of you were scouts or guides or something when you were kids? Hands up. Yeah. So just think about the leaders of those groups. They all were doing their part in helping to parent you. Some of them made huge contributions to us. Some of them, maybe not so much, but if you think about it, all of them were giving gifts of their time. They were all reaching out, volunteering. So Ernest Holmes says this: God is our heavenly Father and our spiritual mother, the breath of our life. God is the changeless reality in which we live, move, and have our being. And that comes from a book called What Religious Science Teaches. I and the Father are one. The Father that dwelleth in me, he doeth the works. We must come to sense this marvelous presence, for this is the secret of successful metaphysical work. God in all, through all. That's from the Science of Mind. So he says again, we must come to sense this marvelous presence, for this is the secret of successful metaphysical work. It's right where we are. It's in us, as us. Okay, so the next point about fatherhood is an example of the Trinity, part of the Trinity. Now, the Trinity in Christianity, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, or Holy Ghost. For us in metaphysics, it's word, mind, body, or thought, law, result. Or if you like the gardening example, plant the seed in the soil and the seed grows into a plant. That's the result. So mother, father, child, the Trinity. Mother, father, child. So if you want an amusing thing to watch, and I didn't do this because I thought it might be too shocking for some of you, maybe too shocking for me. If you like Prairie Home Companion and Garrison Keillor, just type up fatherhood. He's got this amazing 3-minute parody, and it's very funny, and it's about fatherhood, but from the sperm point of view. So it's typical Garrison Keillor, very creative. Anyway, of course, sound effects and all the whole thing. It's not being the biological dad is important, but that's not the main thing of fatherhood. The main thing is the influence, the being with. So this whole month is about accountability, and the subtitle is You Hold the Keys, meaning you're already responsible for choosing what you think and keeping your attention on what you think. Those of you who get Mary Morrissey's work, and I'll just put a little plug in for my class, because it's starting this Tuesday, not last Tuesday. Mary Morrissey sent out an email this morning, and I thought, oh, maybe I should read that. I'm glad I did, because this is the story she tells. A father was, one of her students, I guess, was going to visit his daughter in college for it was a parents' weekend, and it was her senior year in college. And they had a fantastic time. She introduced him to all her friends, and he could see where she was taking her classes and the whole social aspect of college and everything. But because it was her senior year, he started to ruminate about that and how this would never happen again, because she would graduate and then she'd go on to living her career, whatever. And the more he thought about that, the sadder he got, that this is the last time. We do that. We do that. We make stuff up, and sometimes it's not for our benefit. In fact, most times it isn't for our benefit. So he caught himself. He went, oh, what am I doing? I'm putting all my attention on the negative, on that this could be the last time, instead of on what a wonderful time we're having together. And so he talked to his daughter about it, and that right then and there, they decided that every year, no matter what, no matter how old she got, no matter how many children she had, no matter whether he was a grandchild or had grandchildren or whatever, they would take one weekend every year, and it would just be a father-daughter weekend. And they've done it. So, but what had to happen? He had to change his mind for that good to happen. He had to change his mind from going into a future where it wasn't happening with sadness to the possibility of something good could happen. We could have a new tradition. And then the good thing took place. But you see, he had to be the father of that. There's an author from Oregon whose name is Kevin Renner. And he had two daughters, middle school age daughters, and he thought that maybe he could be a better father. And he thought maybe he should do some research about what the effects were on women who had fathers that were either very supportive and very connected and part of their lives, and fathers that weren't. He interviewed 50 women, and he said their stories went from horrific to heroic. Horrific to heroic. He said some women drew the long straw and some women drew the short straw. The ones who were blessed to draw the long straw had dads that spent time with them, connected with them, loved them, held them, cared for them, respected them. The short straws were ones that possibly abused their daughters or definitely neglected, perhaps abandoned. Kevin Renner wrote a book called In Search of Fatherhood. I haven't read the book, but I have synopsis here. And one of the things he says is that, and this is pure science of mind, he said, our parents hold countless beliefs, most of them unconscious. Let's touch your heart. I hold dozens of beliefs. I hold dozens of beliefs. Most of them are unconscious. So some of the beliefs that our parents held are that there isn't enough, that I'm not enough, that the world is dangerous, that you can't trust people, or that it doesn't matter what I do, I don't make any difference anyway. So who cares if I get drunk? Beliefs guide our behavior, and we all know this. Our beliefs guide our behavior, which in turn forms our family cultures. So children internalize much of that culture. And most of us can't verbalize it until our 30s. So we've got at least 2 decades, maybe 3, before we can start even saying, this is what my family thought of. Because up until then, it's just what is. And the assumption is everyone thinks this way. But then you get into studying something like this and you go, maybe not. Maybe they don't. One of the things that Kevin wrote in his book is something I'm going to share with you. It's a letter from a newborn to her dad. And it says this: Dear Dad, after 9 months in the dark, I've just spent 21 hours fighting my way out of that warm, cramped space. I was so happy to see you that I burst out crying. I already know your voice and I already feel an attachment to you. Please don't ever leave me. Hold me, hug me, and love me every day. Let me sleep on your chest and feel the rhythm of your life feed mine. I need to be with you. I want you to want me with you. Tell me you love me. Show me you love me. Take me places and do things with me, just me. Anything you want to do is fine. We can go to the racetrack or parades or baseball games. We can go to breakfast or movies together. We can play catch outside. Take me with you in your garbage truck or to your office. Take me camping, even if it's just out in the backyard. I need someone to treasure me and fill my heart. If you don't do it, I may spend the rest of my life looking for someone who will. Send me high in the air above your head at the beach. Give me piggyback rides, chase me and catch me and tickle me. Swim like a shark underwater and capture me, then throw me into the air. Let me crawl into bed between you and Mom and then hug me some more. Let me see you smile. Read to me. Tell me stories. You can make them up, any kind of stories. Tell me about when you were a little boy. Tuck me into bed at night. Let me talk to you and listen to me. Really listen. Try to hear what's in my heart, because I won't always know for sure. Teach me how to be strong and fierce and how to fight for myself. Lay down the law and hold me to it, even when I whine. Show me how to work hard. Teach me about money, power, and how to navigate the world. Love Mom forever. Show me what I should look for in a life partner by the example you set. Show me I deserve someone who will cherish me, have fun with me, listen to me, bring me flowers for no reason at all, be the sort of husband you'd want me to have. Take me to church, to temple, to God. Help me find the big spirit and reverence inside myself, other people, and everything else. Hold me and hug me even as I get older. Tell me I'm beautiful. Let me hear what it feels like when it comes from someone who loves me. Tell me about yourself. Open your heart to me. Hold me to the high standard of the woman I'll be grateful to become. Accept and love me for who I am. Please, Daddy, find yourself. Let me love in your heart and light in your soul. Let me go when my time has come. Take care of yourself, too. I want my children to know you. I want them to know why I'm crying so hard when I bury you, just like I cried when I came into this world. Love, your daughter. Isn't it beautiful? Yeah, that's Kevin Renner, Renner, dyslexic speaker. What fun. So here's the bottom line. There are very few perfect fathers or mothers, parents. And there are very few of us that parent ourselves perfectly. But we can do the best we can do. We can make a decision that today is a day we use the science of mind for our well-being, to be the very best person we can be, to choose ideas that would strengthen all of our relationships, our health, our prosperity, our connection with each other. When we do that, we strengthen this community as well as ourselves. You are the ones that are making the difference, and I'm so happy you chose to be here this morning, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you so much. Diane's going to help us get ready for prayer.
I can feel with every breath God's love surrounds us here. I can feel with every breath it's dissolving every fear. The love in here expands to fill our world, so it can be the presence of God's light and love that flows through you and me. The love in here expands to fill our world, so it can be the presence of God's light and love that flows through you and me.
The presence of God's light and love flowing through you and me. I begin by recognizing and knowing that every particle of love in the universe is part of that eternal one, that one life that is God's life, that one power that is all power. I remind myself that that one is right where I am. It's not separate from me. It's in me, around me, through me, and as me. And it is greater than I have ever or could ever conceive myself to be. For it is that invisible aspect of self that is God, that is spirit, that is divine mind, Father, Mother, God, everywhere present, all power. So I speak this word of power with intention, knowing that what flows through this word is the power of life itself. And it's good and very good. So this is what I know. And I know I'm going to say it in the first person. If there's anything that doesn't fit for you, just let it wash over you like a stream. It'll be fine. Nothing can harm you because it's all God is all good. And so this is what I know for myself. I know that I am that wholeness that God is. That wholeness within me is both the divine masculine and the divine feminine. That it is that which is forever expressing. That it's expressing on the physical plane as vitality and energy and youthfulness and exuberance and zest, as joy. It's expressing as health and vitality, and that glow that health is in each one. I know that every cell, every tissue, every function, and every fiber of my body is filled with the aliveness of divine mind, of spirit. And so it's vital and whole and complete. There's not an aspect of me that is not complete. Everything is complete, is whole, is filled with the energy of God. And so furthermore, I know that I am that love that is the aspect of God as love. I am that which connects, that which heals, that which moves, that which sustains and brings together, that which belongs together. And what I know is that the divine love within me is unconditioned and unconditional, that everyone in my presence is blessed by this love. And it comes through me as smiles, as countenance, as expression, as connection. Everyone is included in God's love as me. And I know that every relationship is blessed because I'm consciously aware that it is a love relationship. And furthermore, I also know that I am the prospering power of the divine, and that prosperity flows through me, coming to me as greater and greater good unfolding, as increased supply, increased experience of financial flow, as well as all other kinds of abundance. I know that it's good, 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 and only good. And furthermore, I know for creative expression that I am open and receptive to new ideas, bigger ideas, healthy-minded ideas, ideas which bless my life and therefore bless everyone else in my world. I'm a change agent for good just by being, that I'm a blessing for good just by being, that I am the one that makes a difference wherever I am. And what I know for each one is what I've spoken for myself. I know it at the depths of my being. And I bring great gratitude to this community for the generosity, for the love, for the remembering, for the experience of God's grace, of God's love. So with my heart overflowing with thanksgiving, I simply say, thank you, God. It's done. It's complete. I accept it all as being true and only true. Nothing else. The truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me, God. And so it is.
Thank you, Reverend Heather. And please welcome back Simeon.
Need a moment to tune, please. But I'll take this opportunity to say I have a brand new album with me today, inspired by my Sunday mornings here with this incredible band. I am so jet lagged, I don't even know I'm jet lagged right now. And it was so good to arrive here this morning and feel like I'm being held up. You're very lucky. I hope you know. All right, this is called Scars. We all have scars. Every love leaves a mark. Secrets we don't want to impart. So we stay on guard. We all have scars beneath our thick and hard. Beyond the reach of each other's arms, something wants to come apart. So let it come. Show me how you feel. Open up your heart and let it heal. We are more than our scars, more than the names that are carved into our bark, more than the pain that is hidden in the dark. We are not our scars. Show me who you are. Yeah, let's get real. Open up your heart and let it heal.
Senior, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Senior, that was beautiful, as was the first one. Those of you who get my one call now know that she has a new album that she brought with her. So it's time for us to share our gifts, our tithes, our offerings. If the stewards would come forward. We're so grateful in advance for the generosity of those of you who attend, because that helps us run this place. So thank you, and let's repeat after me. Divine love as me.
Divine love as me.
Blesses and consecrates.
Blesses and consecrates.
All that I am.
All that I am.
All that I have.
All that I have.
All that I give.
All that
I give with love.
I give with love.
And I love to give.
And I love to
And
give.
so it is.
This is for all the daddies out there, and granddaddies, and great-granddaddies, and stepdaddies, all of them. When I think of all I am and all I want to be, a hero comes.